Hi, my name is Busta. I own Bella Bossalina Performing Company. Tonight we're roaming the streets trying to find some people to talk to, and it looks like Ortega is here tonight, so we're gonna go see if he'll talk to us.
Yeah, young no wild law. Homie. Ortega. Yeah, the Omega. The fellas of home. Cause look at dollars of home. Get money on. Come on, I'm living for the day, making music for the ball. I was taught to be a leader, never had to follow. Reaching for the future, leave the past behind you. The streets don't love you, shall I remind you? The sound
oh, there he is.
We gon' last forever.
Ortega the Omega. Hey Ortega, how you doing?
Good, how about yourself?
Good. This is Ortega.
What's up, everybody?
For those who don't know you, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, pretty much I go by Ortega the Omega, born and raised South Central Los Angeles, out here in Utah. You know, I'm a writer, recording artist, you know, pretty much do my own shows, you know, putting it down for Salt Lake, LA, the whole West Coast, you know, and that's how I do it.
Other than writing your own music and producing your own music, what else do you do?
Pretty much, you know, I've been doing beats since I was like 16, 17, you know, so I've been doing that, you know, a couple of years. You know, I've been kicking back lately, but I'll get back to it. You know, some of the songs that I actually have on, you know, different websites, you can scope them out, you know, like blastyourthoughts.com, indiebychoice.com, soundcloud.com, or sevgotbeats.com. You can scope out my music, you know, do that. And like I mentioned earlier, you know, I pretty much do my own shows. You know, I've been doing that for, I would say, 2 years, you know, so always grinding, you know, always trying to, you know, do interviews, collab, you know, whatever it takes for me to pretty much get on top of my game, you know. I was in Mandatory Business magazine, you know, that's pretty much it.
That's not much it, that's a lot. So there's a lot of talk about Busta Rhymes signing with Cash Money. How do you feel about that?
Pretty much, like, I've been hearing a lot of like negative feedback, you know, because it's Busta Rhymes, you know, he's an old school legendary rapper, you know, from the east side, you know, doing his thing, signing to a label like Cash Money. A lot of people like, you know, he's selling out or whatever, but honestly, my opinion is he's doing good. It's a wise decision that he made, you know, especially in the music industry today where it's hard to sell records because people aren't downloading the music. You know, he got a lot of support, like by Lil Wayne and Birdman, you know, and he's still keeping his style originals. He's still Busta Bust, like we knew him back in 91, 92, 93, you know what I mean, you know? So it's cool. You know, I support Homeboy, you know, and there's a lot of young people out there that need to know who's Busta Rhymes, you know a lot of, you know, the old school, you know, music, you know, so.
Yeah, for sure. So then tell me, what is your opinion on underground hip hop versus mainstream hip hop?
Yeah, another question, you know, a lot of people debate on that, you know, like personally myself, I used to be in the stage where I used to say, you know, F all that mainstream and stuff like that. It's all about the underground music, people still expressing themselves through underground music, not as much as mainstream, but to tell you the truth, like, you know, if you think about it, back in the 90s, you know, gangster rap was mainstream. The East Coast rap was mainstream. You know, not a lot of people heard about, you know, Dirty South back in the day. You know, you probably had like Ghetto Boys and stuff like that. You know, Master P. You know, so my opinion, now that I'm getting older and I'm always studying the music industry, you know, I like both. You know, I'm not just gonna like anything they play in the radio. I really, you know, I'm really picky. So if I really feel like it sounds good, and I'll support it and I'll like it, you know. Old school, new school, you know, it don't matter, you know. To me, it's just another like market, you know. Like you always gotta, you know, pretty much cater to everybody, you know. You know, gotta do music for the underground heads, do music for the clubs, for the street, people in the struggle, you know. So that's pretty much my focus right now too. You know?
So what do we have to look forward to in the future with you?
Plans for 2012. I'm aiming to release my album. You know, I've been telling everybody that I'm working on my album. It's taking a while, but you know, gotta perfect the style, you know, gotta make sure it's hot, you know, and plus I don't want to be like other local rappers out there, you know, no disrespect, that have like 10 albums and probably like only 30 people buy each of those albums, you know. I don't want to be that person. I want to sell thousands, you know.
Of course.
So in the meanwhile, while I'm working on my album, I'm networking, you know, talking to fans, supporters, friends, whatever it got to be, you know, always interacting with people. And that's one thing that rappers nowadays don't do. They don't interact with the people they talk to on social networking websites, you know. Like, if I add somebody to my list, I gotta make sure, you know, like, they get to know me and I get to know at least a little bit of something about them. So y'all better take notes on that.
Well, I hope you guys take some time to get to know this guy. He's a great guy, and he's a great musician and a great artist. So look him up, Ortega the Omega. He has some great things coming in 2012.